Today is UN's designated International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women. How
Wow.
unfortunate that we need such a day. And
Oh,
in honor of today, we've spoken to many women about how they think the world would be different if women were in charge. What a fun thing to think about, right? I can think of so many things.
definitely. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Doctors Today. I'm Namita, and make sure you keep watching because we have a very interesting episode today. Every episode is interesting, but this is completely different episode where we have bringing in a couple of people to express their views about the topic we're going to discuss.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Simrit, and Namita is right. Today, our topic is so debated, and it's such a wonderful thing to think about, right? Like, so many women are sitting there daydreaming, how would the world change if women were in charge?
Oh my,
I can think of lots of fun things
so
I
many
would
things
do.
in my mind.
So, it wasn't always like this. In many ancient societies like India, Mesopotamia, women were respected and given an honorable position in society. In ancient India, women were revered. And that's how we have so many goddesses, right?
Yeah.
Even in ancient Egypt, women could own businesses, properties, and could serve as a witness in court, honored and respected as equals by men. That's not the case anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because as time went on and societies progressed, the role of women was reduced. But we're not here to discuss how that happened. It did happen.
It did.
What, like, we're not discussing that. As a result, women were reduced in most societies to be merely owned by the closely related men of their family, their fathers, brothers, husbands, and sons, even. And in most societies, now the patriarchal system became the norm, which means men are in charge, Namita.
Even today, there are few matriarchal societies that exist in it.
Yes.
When we thought of doing this topic, and I was like, let me do some research, and there's some very interesting thing I found out. So there's a kingdom of women. I mean, it's a Chinese Himalayan society called Mosuo women, and even in
Wow.
India, in Nagaland, there is a village, where uh, it's very close to Tibet, and these villages are, I think, nearby. So this is a society of about like 50,000 population, which is completely matriarchal and matrilineal, meaning not only are women in charge of everything, but everything is passed on through mothers to their daughters, and they all have certain rights, which men don't. And
So nice.
the one main custom of this Mosuo society that stands out is their sexual freedom. This is very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, women get allotted a private sleeping chamber after they turn like 15, 16. And then it's like the
Wow.
girls choose who she wants to have sex with or have children with. And there is no official custom of marriage, and women can choose how long they choose to be with someone. And if she wants, she can pick up another partner or multiple ones without any society judgment. And the responsibility of the children is hers. So she is taking care of everything. And the children are brought in like in mothers and grandmothers' home. So, which is so different. And I mean, it's very interesting. I don't know how they're running the whole show, and that too in
I'm
today's world.
sorry. I'm still daydreaming about the sexual freedom at 15 to have your own room.
Yeah,
No one's judging you. Like, I don't know if I like it depends on how people exercise those rights. I've heard that no matter how much sexual freedom you get, the more sexual freedom you get, it doesn't mean people are having more sex with multiple partners. It just means that stress of society is gone.
yeah,
It's
that's true.
sexual freedom. It doesn't mean we're gonna like start hopping from bed to bed. That's not what anybody wants. But yes, if I want to leave somebody just because of other reasons, sex should not be a reason to stay with that person, right? But in this
Definitely.
modern society, yeah, and like it's a nice thought that when you're younger to be able to explore safely, of course, but younger meaning 20 or something. But I don't know if this would work in our modern society. I really don't. Having
I,
sexual freedom of choice empowers us, doesn't it?
oh, yes.
Because that's one thing that men, like, even in India, like, the men can do whatever they want. It's a sexual act from both sides. I don't get it because traditionally men were on top. I don't get it. What is the big deal? Why is the woman's sexuality such a more debated topic than men's sexuality? I don't get
I
it.
know. But yeah, I mean, things are changing, and I mean, most of the people would not agree to that. Oh, no, no. Even men would not agree. Oh, women have the full freedom. Women also, they're doing this, they're doing that. So, yeah.
We're talking about traditional societies, I mean, of
Yeah,
course. I mean,
exactly.
we're not talking about modern societies. But
Yeah.
other than, like, you see, Nagaland is there. Other than Masua, there's a Khasi tribe in India, which has about 1 million population. I think it's around Assam, or like it is in the
Yeah, yeah.
southeast. And right, it's there.
Maybe,
And
the
there's a
eastern states, they're very liberal,
yeah,
very,
eastern states are very good. Yeah,
yeah,
northeast of India. But the
yeah,
men
northeast.
still can't be in charge. But the men still can be in charge here, even though the children take the daughter's name and the property is passed on from mother to daughter. But if the men are in charge, then how is this? I don't understand the difference. So the freedom is more economic and social, but it's
Ah,
not, because the important decisions are still made by the men.
man.
So women don't have complete. I have heard of a village in Nigeria, somewhere in Africa, I think it's Nigeria, where men are banished. Okay. So let's
Wow.
talk about that, because these women are, and the topic of today, that they are the victims of a lot of assault and maybe sexual assault, maybe abuse, domestic abuse. So they have, out of this village, no men are allowed even. So I don't fantasize about more like that.
Close. I
Fortunately,
know.
fortunately, because I understand why they did it, but I fortunately don't fantasize about that. I
Of
like having men around,
course, file. Yeah,
but
that's
I also like to be
very
in
true.
charge. But I also
We
like to
get
be in
that,
charge.
we get ourselves entitled to a couple of things in our homes. So yeah.
Yeah, like I always joke with my friends that men are good for one thing, but yeah, most of them are good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see what one of our friends has to say on this.
Yeah, let's see.
I see this question from two perspectives. Firstly, if we were just to replace men with women leaders in the existing patriarchal society, very likely there will be very little difference, as women in charge will only further the agendas of the existing oppressive and patriarchal system to sustain it. If at all, women at the top will give us cosmetic assurance and make us even more complacent for any real system driven change to challenge the status quo or topple any disempowering power dynamics. My second view, however, on a lighter note, is women are already in charge. They have been in charge for a long time. We just need to have a closer look. Women are actually running the show behind closed doors, are in control behind the scenes, be it at the home front in both personal and professional capacities, as mothers, wives, sisters, daughters, friends. Women make half the world. It is unlikely that our world has been governed solely on the fragile shoulders of men so far. It is another matter that as women, we allow men to think that they are in the driver's seat and us as mere navigators.
Wow. So how well put, Jyoti? I mean, as Jyoti mentions that here, simply putting women in charge of cosmetic effect or as figureheads in, I mean, it's in the already existing patriarchal society will not work. We would not be able to achieve any real headway, right? We need societal changes, changing of mindsets, basically. And as she mentioned in the latter part of her video, where women are already in charge at homes, but truly they are there. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, most homes, the father is still the head, and many women, I mean, even the educated households, they promote father as the ultimate voice, and women are
Right.
in charge. And I mean, they are in charge. Yes, in charge of what? What is going to be, made for dinner, where the groceries are going to come from, how the children have to be educated, things like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the household keeping things intact. I mean, financial decisions are still made by men. I mean, they don't. I mean, they do feel, that, I mean, women would not understand. Oh, it's not their cup of tea. Or you would not understand the finances. You would not how things are run financially. Blah blah blah. And just
Yeah,
they feel they can just focus on certain type of jobs and aspects. But
right.
sorry,
Yeah.
guys, that's not true.
The women's role, right?
Yes. So in the broader sense, I feel, all the financial matters are, men's cup of tea, and women are just, just backside, just pushing or supporting. I mean, they call it, oh, this is the support system. I don't know how exactly that works. I mean, not to the level of where we say, okay, women has some right to speak on family matters, especially when it comes to marriages.
Yeah.
Again, a man has to say, oh,
Traditional
men,
households.
exactly,
Yeah.
in the traditional household, women is like, okay, whatever your dad says, whatever your grandfather
Yes.
says, right? That is going to
Right.
happen. I can't do anything. Even women want something else for their child, for the daughter or son, but no, ultimate decision would be a father or grandfather. They don't say, oh, it will be of your grandmother, right? It is
Yeah.
always like that.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
the men of this household, I mean, would take the decisions.
Absolutely. So it's not just the decisions, right? But the voice of the man suppresses the woman's voice in a home, in most traditional homes anyways. Like, okay, I if the mom says something, but the father has the right to overrule it. I
Exactly.
mean, in a balanced home, it can be both ways. But most homes, and we're not talking stereotypical, we are talking about traditional
Traditional
households.
house.
The final word is the man's. And come on, guys, don't start badgering us that, oh, it doesn't happen right. We know it doesn't. Me and Namita are both fortunate, but we're talking about traditional homesteads where homes and households where we're discussing that the man is in charge, right? Fully. So let's see what Shruti and Charu have to say about this.
If women become the in charge of the country, women are so emotionally and mentally strong. We need to grow our young generation to be mentally very strong. To run any country, we need not only physically strong but mentally strong and emotionally strong mindset. Any country has to be very safe for the women. If women become in charge, first and foremost, the thing which has to be controlled, it's rape, domestic violence. The women are always scared because of all this thing. I think if women become the in charge of the country, they can take more healthy decision for the country. As such, we say a woman is the backbone of the household. If a woman can be a backbone for the household, we can ourselves can say a woman can handle country more in a better way. Thank you.
I think women have a participative and cooperative kind of leading style, which is good for any democracy. Second thing that I think that women would bring to table in any country, and which is I think a problem prevalent in almost all the countries, is crime against women. I think if we have strong women leader, crime against women would be much lesser.
Okay. This is such an important discussion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Will women in charge of the world eliminate violence against women? Today's a great day to discuss this. Instinctively, we want to say, yes, put us women in charge. Watch us stop that. We're going to hang all these rapists. We're going to burn these guys down. But the truth is, that's not always how it happens. We would love to. I mean, we're not going to discuss cases that come up. In Delhi NCR, we hear horrific cases. And they're not just from our region, Africa, US, Canada, anywhere in the world. You hear horrific cases of domestic violence. But when women are
This is bringing me to another thought. So then the crime against men would rise, or what?
No, it's about brutal strength, right? We think so. Like somebody says, oh, men get raped. Of course they do. But based on sheer strength itself, men are the stronger ones. And that's how, like on physical strength, majority,
We're talking about physical, right?
No, because
Not
physically, obviously not mentally, and physically they can endure childbirth. Let's put it that way. But physically, men and women are different. men are and that's how traditionally societies he got over. Why is domestic violence? I mean, of course, when men are facing domestic violence, it's under reported. But women, why are they? Because that, even if a woman hits back, it's not with the strength that the man does, right? So that's a sad topic, and that is true, though. It's very true. So let's discuss many times when we even have a woman leader of a country. Crime and violence against women does not reduce. Why is that? Now, if you were in charge, you would like want to change the whole world and change this, and not just women. We're talking about anyone who's being victimized, children. Oh my gosh, that's a whole big topic. But I think, is it as a leader of the country we get bogged down by other pertaining issues that we can't change policies for something so important like violence against women? Or as a woman, we don't want to be seen as favoring women because it might show weakness on our part? Either of these reasons is not acceptable. What do you say? Like, it's just not acceptable. Like, use India as an example, right? We had, I think, the most amazing female prime minister, Indira Gandhi, who was the Iron Lady of India. She was a force to reckon with, and bureaucrats and politicians, I've talked to some people, were terrified of her, all right? But she did many great things as a leader, and she made huge blunders as well, because all politicians do. All politicians do.
Okay, yeah.
But in my research, I found, and we're just talking about the topic here, we're not discussing the politics. I've only found one policy change for empowerment of women, which was the equal pay for equal work. And it was incorporated into this policy, was added into the Indian Constitution. This was under her leadership. That's the one thing, which is a really important thing. But she could have done so much more, in my humble opinion.
Of course, of course. And I don't think that she, I just got to know this policy right now. But I don't feel she really did anything different. I mean, she's done the same any men would have done, to be honest. I mean, even
that's right. So men do more. Actually, I mean, we're not going to get into the whole politics, but Rajiv Gandhi actually did more for women than Indira Gandhi.
Exactly. So yeah, it's not like women would do all good for women. No, that would not happen. They would do whatever they needed to do in that situation, in the power that they have. So they can't be just different about it. It's all situation based.
No, but they can't be indifferent also. They should not be indifferent. Because when women come in charge, we should use our strengths, which means...
Exactly. But, Simrit, when we say, I mean, women are more emotional, they will be taking more sensitive, decisions and all that. But, when you are in power, it's completely different. It's not the same. You're not the same women.
You've touched a really interesting topic. Power makes us all crazy.
Exactly.
Too much power.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's watch what some of our other friends have to say. I agree with you on this.
Hi Simrit, hi Namita, how are you girls? So as we were discussing how different the world would be if women rule it, I guess world would be very different, women ruling it. I think politically it would be more calm. In communities it would be more communicative. And I think in business, they would be more productive, more progressive. And I strongly believe in women empowerment. The only thing we need to do today is all women to support each other. Let's do that. Let's come together to make this world, this place, to be a better place, a more progressive place. Let's all come together. And 100% women empowerment.
Women were in charge of the world, what would be different?
Sincerity. We women are more sincere in what we do.
Okay, we are sincere. Okay, that's what
we are sincere.
That's
the sincerity level would definitely go up.
Hypocrisy would go down?
No.
Okay, so wow. See, Ashi and Guneet mentioned about this sincere, very interesting points.
Same thing that you were talking about, right?
They just be more empathetic and sincere with women leaders. But no, guys, sorry, this is not true. So it is, I mean, it feels this is a stereotype and not always the same case. when you have power, you are not the same person. You start acting differently. Everything change about you. You have to look from a different angle, not just from a women angle. So so you would not say, oh, you will be sensitive. I'm sorry, you would not be super sensitive over different. I mean, it depends on the matter to matter. But yes, if whatever strategically decision would be needed, you would make those decisions. And
at the end of the day, you need to have the leadership qualities more than your
exactly.
gender qualities. Right.
Exactly. So, I mean, I strongly feel that, men and women both can coexist. So, I mean, it's create a happier and more peaceful world together rather than giving. I mean, say the power should be distributed equally. That is how
That
it is
is
going.
what we do. Yeah.
Exactly. So we all have different traits. We do have different qualities. So we should just use each other's qualities and make the good use of it. And you should, do the work jointly together. Then only things would happen the way we want them to be there. So not just like giving powers to, it would be the same kind of world, Simrit. Like, okay, now we say, oh, men dominated world, men is at power. Similarly, it would be like, oh, it's a women dominate. Again, there'll be no balance. We need balance. That is what we need. Not like shifting pendulum here and there. That would not.
Let's watch what Shruti and Taranjeet have to say.
Yeah, let's see.
Hi, so the topic is, how would women be able to change the world if they were in charge? So I think at some level we are already in charge because we are capable of taking care of our kids as well as going out to work. So for me, the key points are, or the key words are, that we can maintain the balance, we are affectionate, we are sympathetic towards one another, and that probably would bring a big change. Empathy, sympathy, and maintaining a balance. Thanks.
Whether it is leadership, advocacy, business, or any other field, women have shown great success wherever they are. Then, like the likes of Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, who was lauded for leading an excellent response against COVID-19. And then there are other women like Dr. Kiran Mazumdar, Kamala Harris, Priyanka Chopra, Ngozi Iweala, who have led the world and shown great success in whichever fields they are. On the other hand, we haven't gone over feeling good about Rishi Sunak coming in, and there are other leaders like Barack Obama, Mahatma Gandhi, our own Prime Minister Modi, and so on. So what I believe is that if nature has created different genders, we need to respect them. And different genders have been attributed with different good qualities, different characteristics, and if that is what it is as the nature plans it. So like it's often said that men create and women preserve it, I would say women preserve and help it prosper. So the idea is that if both men and women work together, give respect to each other, equality is the way forward. Thank you.
So look at that, Namita. Shruti thinks exactly like that. We women create a balance, but we don't think that. We want a balanced world. Sorry, we want a balanced world, but can women create that balance, or we need both genders to be there to create that balance? And like most of our lovely friends have mentioned, women are already running the households, and the home has always been the foundation and the cornerstone of society. That's not changing. And if women can balance their duties and responsibilities there, along with working outside the house, they can do phenomenally well as leaders. And that's true. And Taranjeet believes that if men and women work together, it would be the best scenario, which is exactly what you feel as well. All these are great points. So we don't want to get rid of men. We don't want only women leaders. We want a balance of power. That's what you and me are thinking of. I think what I feel now, let's try to conclude this discussion today. I think good and honest intentions are very important as a leader. If you become a leader and you want to prove a vendetta, or you want to suppress some gender, some race, somebody, these will not work well. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, because that can happen, or other. We can all, men, women, and other, can make this world a happier, more peaceful, and now, very important, cleaner place to live. And similarly, with dishonest and corrupt minds, we can ruin it completely.
Oh,
So
yes.
let's decide who gets to lead us and what policies we think are important. That's more important.
Yeah. So, Simrit, I know we've really covered a lot of, serious and interesting aspect of, of this question. But there is some, a flip side of it when it, when they're saying, okay, this particular industry would flourish, or this particular area would be better if women would have been leader, or so there is something very, I mean, these are my personal, my own thoughts, and my like, okay, what would be like if if women are in charge, what would happen to the cosmetic industry, for example? So what do you think? What would happen to the cosmetic industry? Do you think it will be better, it will flourish, or it will just the way it is, or it's going to stay?
I think one thing may change. I don't think the cosmetic industry will flourish more than it's flourishing. I think it's doing phenomenally well. I don't think that would change. But I think what we would do is now, and I mean, of course, men are doing it too. We would try to create more sustainability. But we see it from our points of views, right? You and me are thinking from mother's point. Maybe tomorrow down the road, we'll be thinking differently. And if you're a single person who doesn't have children, you would think differently. Someone who's the father of 5 kids, maybe he'll think differently. A mother of a 28-year-old will think different. I mean, our personal positions in life affect us as leaders, right?
Right.
So I don't think any industry would do better or worse.
So, it's my own brainstorming, of this topic is, I was wondering that, okay, if women in charge, how would the entertainment industry would go? Pornography. I mean, imagine there would be like all, instead of soaps, there would be what? All gaming or action movies mostly would be there, because women are busy with other things.
Soap operas would become prime time, like what you watch in the evening because you come back from work. But that means that not are women just in charge, but they're doing all the work. We're not saying get rid of men altogether in the workforce. We're saying put them in the junior position.
And there has been a men beauty pageants with all masculine men around showing up there.
That still happens. That still happens.
I know, but not at the scale it can happen later. So yeah, these are some funny side of this question that it was really. So let's sum it up. So most of us feel that women being in charge will create more peaceful, empathetic, and kinder world. Okay, maybe not. But I know I enjoy working with men, and women are. I mean, and a balanced environment will always have men, women, drama, politics, everything.
But that creates fun, right? Like the gossip.
Exactly. So that's all on Talk This today. But we look forward to hearing from y'all. Please tell us what you think about our today's episode. It's very, very important because something new that we have introduced in today's episode. You can email us at hello@talktoustoday.com, or you can comment in the comments. Also, we are now available as podcast on Spotify under the same name, Talk This Today.
Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to stay notified of our new videos every Friday at 6 p.m. Thank you for joining us on Talk to Us Today. Remember to talk about Talk to Us Today. Yes. Keep smiling, keep laughing, and keep talking.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you guys. See you guys next Friday.